Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. It's time for the J. Craig Podcast. It's that time again. It's time for the J. Craig Podcast.
All right, don't hear anything on the monitor. All right, yo, turn the light on. All right, down. Okay,
There you go.
Great. So, what was that trade again you're talking about?
A carrot and the wax paper.
All right, the carrot I got, but why do I need the wax paper?
Yeah, check this out. Okay, so when we need seeds to grow, we want to keep them safe. Put them in here. You can twist
Seeds,
it.
okay.
If you need gunpowder, you could use it for any kind of
powder
seasonings
dry.
or any kind of chemicals. Keep
Yeah.
it safe and keep it dry.
Well.
Or if you're just into someone who likes color and wants to see something that's bright and reminds them of the old world, hey, a little barter system here.
Oh, we could do that.
What do you think? Come on.
And the carrot?
And the carrot.
All right, you got both. For the
Got it.
lighter, hey, and you know this lighter can get you 100 carrots in town.
If I make it there.
All right. Hey, welcome everyone to Anatomy of an Apocalypse, Part 2, Teamwork and Hope.
In part one, Anatomy of the Apocalypse, we talked about the way the world's going to come to an end. We talked about what happens after Armageddon. Are we going to be able to survive as a people? And we know from video games and movies that man is evil, man's going to destroy. Are we better than that vision?
Right. And today, how do we be better than that vision is really the human element. It's really, the robots win or the aliens come, it doesn't matter. Who are we and what are we going to do? Are we going to be solo? Are we going to do a team? And we alluded to it a lot last episode. But today we're going to really dive into that. And who is on your team for the apocalypse, for example? So that's
right.
the very thing, very thing we need to talk about, the skill set that you need.
Right.
And will you be able to adapt? And in the end, again, what brings us all together is the video games and the movies, and do they help us, hurt us, and how, and what?
That's right. I'm Jay, and this is Rob Free. And this is the J. Craig Podcast. So if you're not familiar with us, thank you for being here. Hit the subscribe button, like and follow the J. Craig Podcast, and get all of our movie reviews, our podcasts, and all of our other tutorials. So thank you for being here. This is part 2.
Right on.
We love this particular topic. This
Right.
is, some of our favorite stuff. And so in part 1, if you haven't seen part 1,
Doom and
Gloom, yeah, please go back and check that out as well, because some fun stuff in that episode. But now here's part 2, humanity, hope. Mm-hmm. So, the what's going to happen after? Are we going to be able to rebuild? Are we going to be able to survive?
Right, that's right. That's why we did our little trading intro on the bit and the security, and maybe we can kind of reference these as we go. Like, why are you doing the things you do? So we kind of got into character a little bit because, this is where we're at. Okay,
Right.
This is after the apocalypse. Okay?
Exactly.
We need to rebuild. Mm-hmm. Also, we need to survive. Now, do we survive alone or on a team? Here, let's just dive right in here.
Okay. Yeah. For me. It depends on the situation, right? It depends if you're by yourself, if you have a family. Can you trust other people? Can you trust the fact that, can I trust to bring my family into your family's home?
Right.
Am I going to be able to keep them safe that way? So there's a lot of mistrust issues when I think you have a bigger picture with a family. It's a different situation when you're by yourself.
That's right.
I think you don't have to worry about the other things. You can focus on yourself,
That's true, and that's right, and that's why I think you brought up that scenario that fascinates you. Is like, what if you are a family man? What if you are traveling?
Right.
So that's kind of the worst of both worlds, actually. Gosh, you would think that I'm a family man, so at least I have a group already.
Right.
My wife who's capable, my kids who may even be teenagers who are capable.
Right.
We saw. Carl was cast pretty well. I think he was 7 maybe or 10 or so. I think he was 10
like
playing
that,
a 7-year-old, but
And
he grew
Walking
up.
Dead.
In Walking Dead, of course, but
Right.
then through 8 years, 7 years, eventually it's the kids grow up.
Sure.
But what's great about that character is that you saw how he went and he was capable to defend his dad and eventually, just go through the growth cycle of it. But that human element, and even Judith, how do you raise a baby in this apocalypse? So what is that human element, and how are we going to rebuild? We want to get to that topic eventually.
Right.
But so basically, and you can't rebuild or reproduce on your own, guys. Girls,
Sure.
7th grade health class. We know how that works. So you need to have a group. You need to see how that how that shakes out, and how are you guys going to rebuild? So
Right.
who's on your team? We settled that question. We have to have a team. We each have to have a team or a new society. And how are we going to do that?
Well, I think it comes down to what don't you have? What abilities don't you have?
That's true.
Do you if you're somebody that is good with weapons, then you don't need another person like that. You need someone who can do something, cultivate with the ground, with food.
So you're speaking like skills.
Right, skill sets, right. So I think
Okay.
I think before you even get into the team category, you got to figure out what skill sets do you have.
Right, that you have that won't overlap.
Right.
Or maybe you can work well with.
Right.
Certainly, if I was a pacifist and I just was anti-weapons, my first skill set that I think I would need would be, well, first of all, pacifism. I got enough of that. Obviously, you don't have to overlap. That's your point, and I get that point. But also, I don't think my first skill set would be, I need guns and weapons, because that's not my opinion. I think that's another element that kind of that sidestep your point there.
Sure.
But that's exactly what it comes down
Well,
to.
exactly.
What skills don't I have? What do I need?
Right.
And what do I deem worthy too? That's what I was saying. What do I deem worthy? Weapons,
and it also,
healing.
do you need weapons? It depends what kind of apocalypse it is, right?
Oh, true.
So if you're if it's you still have to protect your family, or protect yourself.
True.
So you need some kind of defense, right? So you need safety and security. But yeah, I think it comes down to what skill sets do you have that you're going to be able to actually offer to another group as well. Like who's going to bring you in? Not necessarily who do you want on your group. But what skill sets do you have to offer other groups?
Exactly. Man, when I think about that, personally, yeah, I got the chemist thing, that helps,
Sure.
So, and I brought that in the first episode. What do you do at the very onset of that apocalypse?
Right.
Just how you almost want to have your place look ransacked. You want to make it look like you've been ransacked or people have passed you by.
Yeah, I saw that was on that one episode. What was it? After Armageddon?
Something like that.
Yeah.
And they had the really hilarious. We were joking about the actor reenactment.
Yeah,
that was so hilarious. But
so
anyway,
to clarify what he's talking about, you have if you're at home and people start looting, if they see a house that's clean, nothing's happening, they're gonna loot it.
That's right. It looks like right for the picking.
But if they see a house that's been ransacked and stuff on the lawn and maybe broken stuff on the porch, stuff like that, then it looks like it's been ransacked. They're not going to bother it. Probably.
That's right.
They got to keep moving.
Like, this one's already been looted, so then they move on. Right.
Exactly. So there's all those awesome things when it comes down to. But the skill sets. Do you have the ability to think about that first without knowing?
Well, that's in survival, right? And now from watching this podcast, congratulations, and listening to this podcast, you now know, audience,
you didn't know you're going to win something.
You could do that.
Yes.
There's an information.
Yes.
They want to know, or make yourself look disheveled. Make yourself look, why don't you carry an empty bottle of vodka, fill it with water, and act drunk.
Okay, you brought up
a little bit, you know what I mean? Or just, this guy's just some lush, and I'm really a doctor, let's say. And it's like, no, because they're just going to think I'm some drunk, they won't take me seriously. But dude, I can birth babies, I can sew stitches, wounds, all this stuff. Dude, like I said I was
about to bring that up again.
That is super valuable.
Right. So but do you let people know about that, or do you hide that?
And do you hide that? And how do you hide that?
Exactly. Like, can you as a doctor, as a health practitioner, if someone is in trouble, and you don't supply that need, because of you want to hide that, what does that make you? So later on, I want to also talk about that change in the character.
Right.
What that makes you do. Can you still be that person, or can you be above and beyond that?
What I'm hearing you say is, having that immense amount of power, how does it affect you? And do you be corrupted? And how do you wield that power?
Right.
Because you went from being a doctor, which, don't get me wrong, is powerful in today's society.
Right.
But in a post-apocalyptic universe, you could be a superhero. So practically.
Yes.
So, you don't want to give that to me? Oh, well then, screw you. I want to fight you for it. Or I'll hold a gun to your head and say, do this. The people, so you're just asking for a whole lot of trouble. And a whole lot of goodness too. Let's be bright. This isn't the doom and gloom episode.
Right.
Even though it's dark in here.
It is. We got to survive. Got to make sure no one finds us.
But that doctor is there to birth babies and to help heal and to help life go on, actually. So that's why,
Right.
Well, we need to be positive about the skills too.
But as you're talking about the skill sets, you're right. Before we get into the teams, you're talking about also if you're able to become that other person that you need to be, right? So there's a whole other topic there. But at any rate, you're right, though. So skill sets. Do you have the abilities that are going to help another community?
Exactly.
And that's really, really important. And I think about myself, okay? I'll put myself in the position, okay, what would I be able to offer a community if I was, let's say, by myself or with my family, depending what the situation was, right? Okay, well, I don't know. I'm a fast learner. Yeah. I can probably dig a bunch of holes for you.
Okay.
I'm a good AD. I did a lot of assistant directing work, so I'm good at kind of like getting people to do a particular job.
Well, stop right there. You're hired. See, for my skill set, like there. The first two is like, whatever. But that
Right.
third one you had me at.
Right. Okay, there you
And
go.
why is it? Why? Because for me, it's important to have a group of people working together.
Right.
When you said that, I was like, you're hired.
There it
Fast
is.
learner and
Okay.
dig holes. Even though dig holes is
right.
great to find water and
Now I don't know you. I just traded with you. Now you're welcoming me in. I don't know if I can trust you. But,
Yeah, and how do we trust you?
But I'm desperate. I need to come in.
Well, I'm hungry.
Okay, good.
So
Good.
I'll take that celery stick off your hands. By the way, if you want me to take you into my home and trust you, well, it's going to start with that celery stick. So trust can be bought with goods.
Yep.
And we see that in services.
Right.
And this has been happening since the beginning of time. The oldest, profession, like people sleeping with other people, or power and money, sex. What drugs? What is the thing that gets you off, that holds the power?
Sure.
You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
look at Scarface or something, and what held the power there was the money and the drugs.
Right.
That in the post-apocalyptic universe, will that still merit? You know what I mean?
It would be different things.
Yeah. So what are you valuing? And seriously, what I'm valuing right now is people working together towards a common goal. Because without that, I mean, there is no point to even have humanity live.
Okay.
I don't want to live in
Yeah.
a world that no one can work together. We'll put it that way.
Okay,
So
how
I'm killing two
about
birds with one stone. I'm getting you as a director to help me and my group survive. And in the end, I need you to teach us how to survive together, because I need to pass that trade on to the rest of humanity
there you
hundreds
go.
of years from now.
Right.
So.
Oh, that's a very good point. That's a very good point. You got to be okay. So, okay now.
So we want multiple
Now
teams.
what? Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I want to role play a little bit. Actually, I thought of
Okay.
this, and I thought, well, in my world that I'm in, that I created more of in my world, I was thinking like a Mad Max world.
Okay.
And I was going to flip the script, as I often do. I want to be a raider. In Fallout 76, sometimes I mess around as a raider.
Sure. Okay.
So I don't want any healers.
Pillaging.
Maybe a healer for healers, but it just straight up, I want a lot of barbarians.
Okay.
This is almost like, I don't want, this isn't personal
Okay.
at all. I would just do it for an argument's sake.
Well, it's a video game. You can have fun and do different things.
That's right. But you can get a whole, like, what would be the optimal pillaging crew?
Okay.
You know what I mean? And then
Right.
I thought, no, that's not what I want to do. So that's why I brought up this topic, which is, well, what's the point of your team? Is it just to survive? Is it
Right.
just, because we all know, even the good guys, the lines get blurred. They end up going out and pillaging others, or they end up stabbing people in their sleep. I mean, for
Right.
crying out loud.
Right.
I mean, I'm talking about the gold standard Walking Dead, sorry. Or, because that's talks about the society part, and the
Right.
human element is very much prevalent, which grinded my gears at first, because really I was obsessed with just running from and killing zombies and looting and doing the video game aspect, which is
Yeah.
more Resident Evil or something, shake and
Sure.
bake, Now we started getting into the hard answer questions, and yeah, they visit the well a lot with that, but what kind of society do we want to have, and what kind of person are you?
Right.
So you talk about the skill set.
Okay.
Can I go into one time my 3 examples how you are out there going to adapt?
Okay.
Let's say you
Good
out there
examples.
right there. You're thinking, what am I going to do? So example 1, you're a software coder.
Okay.
Well, now in this post-apocalyptic universe, there's no electricity, so now there's no computers. So your skills really aren't set for this universe. However, your skills, well, they don't really transfer much, we'll say. That's example 1. Example 2 is I'm a air traffic controller.
All right.
Okay, but this post-apocalyptic universe, there's not really a lot of air traffic. However, air traffic controllers are very meticulous with numbers, paying attention to detail, flight patterns, flight paths, and they can really adapt well to being a tracker, we'll say.
Okay.
Like tracking bands and parties. Well, ask this guy, he knows the area. The air traffic controller also knows the area. If we want to know the local lay of the land and how to get around places, that guy might be really useful.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
that's
Okay.
example 2, where
Interesting.
you don't
Yeah.
think that air traffic controller would be useful in a
Right.
post-apocalyptic universe, but the skills transfer.
Right.
And that's called a medium fit. Now, example 3, perfect fit. A guy was in the army. A girl was a doctor. A
Right.
person who, a perfect fit. In this post-apocalyptic universe now, being a warrior, it's a perfect fit. I used to hunt and protect and kill here, and now I hunt and protect and kill. Or even a hunter. I used to hunt for food. Now I hunt for food,
Right,
So
right.
that's a perfect fit. That's called
Yeah.
example 3. So that's what I
Okay.
came up with.
I
So
like
what
that.
are you going to do out there? Who are you?
Right.
And do your skills transfer? Most of us fit in the category 2, I think. Unless you really are, it's hard to think of an example 1. but-
I think you're right.
Most of us are
I think
twos.
fall into because I started thinking of the things. Okay, so I'm a salesman. I did a lot of traveling. I did a lot of driving. So I know the lay of the land pretty well in certain areas. So I'd be able to do some mapping.
And
Right.
maybe a scout
Okay, maybe a scout, right? Okay, now how about this?
or a transporter. How about you're a good driver? You're responsible.
There you go, transportation,
You're
yeah.
good transportation.
Okay.
Transport the goods from colony to colony.
Right. I also had talked in front of people a lot, like doing like into larger crowds, right?
Right,
So
right.
I could somehow that could probably apply.
Right.
Right. So you're right. To think about the things that you're capable of doing, what you're good at, what you know how to do, and how can you relate that to something of need.
That's right.
And that's really cool.
Right, and that circles back to your first question, which is now you get the people on your team that aren't you.
Right.
So it's not only you, but it's who you could also become. So I know that my science, I could end up making the medicine and the drugs, even though I'm not a formulator at work.
Right.
I'm more of an analytical guy.
Okay.
After the drug's made, I can tell you what's in it, how pure it is.
Sure.
It doesn't seem that effective. We just need the drugs being made first. Okay, well, I'll have to adapt a little bit. And I probably could do that. No problem. I just have to go back to the wells and the fodder and have ammo, in other words, reagents to cook with. But there you go.
Yeah.
We're mostly example twos, you know what I mean?
I think so.
But my skills at item management in the video games I play might maybe so much, although I'm good at item management. So, it just depends. So they can transfer or not. So
you know what? Okay, so
let's make our group.
But here's the thing. Okay, what
Okay.
happens when you have no skill sets? What happens when you are at number one, an example number one, where you're nothing you do. Now think about someone who stays in a basement, who doesn't do a lot of, who just plays video games. Oh, okay, well then you can have some kind of ability to maybe
Well, hand-eye coordination's up.
Yeah.
So maybe you'll be better transferring into you'll be a good bean separator.
So you're right. So in that regard,
So in
everything
the harvest
you can
line,
always
down the
find
harvest
something.
room, we don't have the machinery to manually separate beans from stalks. So I need you to go in there. That's like child labor, but I mean, come on, everyone has to.
Oh
help
no,
here.
it's about survival, man.
A lot about survival.
It's about
We can
survival.
survive. I mean, but you don't also want to exploit. I mean, think about that. I'm sure enslavement is absolutely going to happen. I'm sorry to say.
That's probably.
I just said, hold a gun to your head, doctor. Birth this baby or you die. That's enslavement. So.
No, you're right. So, but when you don't have a lot of skill sets or something that you can't translate, you got to surround yourself with the people who have the things you don't like, right? So now let's talk about, you're right, who's on your team?
Who's on your team? Who's on your team? Dude, who's on your team?
All right.
All
so, how about you go first? Give me a couple examples of who's on your team.
All right. I would say on my team, I have to have a mechanic. A very mechanically skilled person. They'll put it that way. They could be an example two. It doesn't have to be an example three mechanic.
Okay.
He doesn't have to be the Joe from Joe's Garage. He doesn't have to be Joe himself.
Okay, but someone who knows how to operate.
Yeah, and that might even do better because if you're a quick learner and you are college educated and you're aware of other disciplines, and let's say you're more of an engineer, like a book smart engineer,
right?
But you still have some lab experience. They call it. You can still get down with the gears and the screwdrivers and still tinker around.
Right.
I think you could end up learning how to fix the car and keep the car going on our trek from colony to colony or whatever we're doing in this universe, right?
Okay.
So my first pick, fix the damn car, because everything I see in every game I play, when that car runs out, it's like death. If you can't get out of there, you're dead. If the guns jam and the guns break, you're dead. You need tinkers. We need people who are good mechanically oriented. I call those engineers.
Okay, so I have an engineer in my group too.
It's a must-have.
Absolutely.
Right, but see, I'm giving him a tough role, or her, because that means he or she has to fucking fix everything. So I almost want double up. I'm going to double engineers. So don't reveal your list yet.
Yeah. No, I'm just making commonalities.
I would try to double the engineers.
Okay.
Because often when you're doing fixing cars, they're like two-man jobs. If you don't have like a jack or a lift, I mean, a second person really helps.
And then do other things too that maybe they're not good at, like the weaponry stuff.
Right. He's more of a weapons specialist, and she's like tank girl. Yeah.
Right.
So
a builder, someone who knows how to construct larger things that are going to walls and barricades. Walls. Walls.
Got to keep them out. Yeah, exactly. But just good with their hands.
Right.
And then I want a healer.
Aha.
Now,
I like that.
This is again doubled up. Okay. I need a healer negotiator that can chill people out and is a good pacifier and a mental health therapist.
Oh,
who
interesting.
Can diagnose.
Man, you have thought about this, huh?
I've thought about this tremendously.
Jeez.
I say she because I just see her. I see was it the redhead on Star Trek, Beverly Crusher?
Yes.
Wasn't she kind of like a therapist or like a human?
I believe so.
She wasn't the medic, was she?
No.
Or no, I'm confusing. It's anyway.
Maybe she was the medic. Maybe she was the doctor.
Yeah, maybe I'm thinking the brunette.
Counselor
Troy.
Counselor Troy. Deanna Troy.
It's Counselor Troy I'm speaking of.
Okay.
I'd want both actually. If I had both of them, I'd be all set. Because she was the medic. The redhead was the Crusher was the medic. I'm not even a Star Trek guy. I don't know why I'm dropping that, but
you did.
A medical doctor.
But you did.
Right, but if I had to have only one, I'd want the medical doctor because instantaneous trauma wounds, gunshot wounds need to be healed immediately. So if I only had one engineer,
that's true. Yeah.
If I had one engineer, it'd be keep the car going, and if I had one doctor, it'd be keep the life going.
Okay.
But you really need to double up because you need gadgets,
right,
for a second engineer, and you need mental health and soothing.
Right.
In this crazy world we're probably living in with monsters or zombies, or maybe just there's just starvation and people are all just looting and pillaging. It's crazy. So did I get, how many did you get? 5? Did we do a 5?
Let's do 5, yeah. So that's
usually
3.
things come in 5. Is it including myself?
Engineer, doctor.
I'm the leader and I get to pick 5.
Yeah.
Oh,
sure.
Great. Well, I've already picked 4.
Okay.
I've already picked 4. That's what I'm saying.
Then one more.
Then I get one more.
Yeah.
Warrior.
Warrior, okay.
A straight warrior.
Okay.
That's all he does, and he's amazing.
Yeah,
and
warrior,
to be a warrior.
And
What comes with the warrior is you have to, traditionally, I would say, and people are very disciplined in the army to go through that. They have that mental stability, hopefully. There are ones that snap, but luckily they have that. So that's why I only need one warrior. I thought I would need 2 warriors. One that's a little more ranged attacks and one that's more close up.
Yeah, but then they get...
and then I thought, do I need one that's more tracker? Like a bow and arrow guy who's a hunter.
Who wants the power
tracker.
more, and then you got...
and then you have a second one, and I'm like, no, but yeah, because they go out together.
Right.
And I saw myself more as like maybe a warrior too. So that's why I was kind of like...
Because of all your video game experience?
Yeah, I don't know where I fall into that. But in other words, I try to use buddy systems. I digress.
Okay.
I'd want that. I'm seriously... Can't do enough with engineers, doctors, and a straight up warrior.
Okay.
If I had that 5-pack going on, be sweet. Or if I couldn't get one of those double doctors, I would have the second warrior. That they're done. Enough said.
Right.
So I want a 6-person group. Ideally 7 including me.
Okay.
But if I had to swap one out, I would maybe get rid of like the little tinkerer engineer maybe, and I'd want 2 warriors. Depends what the threat is. Again, it depends on the threat. Are these monsters that you need to shoot and actually you can kill?
Right.
Or is this literally Bird Box? Like you cannot do anything except just hide your eyes.
Warriors can't do any good.
What the hell's a warrior?
Warriors will help you against humans. That not necessarily.
And actually, there were humans in Bird Box. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's always of course you got to have a lot more
and
stakes.
People who are trained to kill. See, and that's just I wouldn't want everyone responsible for killing because it really changes you when you kill. And movies.
But you need someone to help. You don't have to kill, but you need someone to help protect.
Do that. Yeah, and it just comes down to it. Like I'm sorry, he's always going to have point because he was trained to kill. Or she. I'm sorry. See, that just.
All right.
So what's your 5?
Good list. Okay, so my list.
Yeah.
My list is very similar to yours. I'd like a warrior. I'd want a warrior on my side, somebody with that. But actually, I'm going to start with the doctor.
Okay.
I want a doctor as well.
Medical doctor?
Yes. Okay. I want someone that's trained to help keep people to survive in those kind of situations, with blood loss and all that kind of good stuff, right? Anything medical-wise. Definitely. Then I want an engineer.
Definitely.
Okay, got to have an engineer. I want like I said, I want a warrior.
Okay.
And then I want a like a farmer or a botanist.
Okay.
And if I can't one of those, a scientist. I want somebody who knows.
I forgot about that entirely.
Chemistry, something that I can do in the science realm. When I'm hoping for a farmer and a botanist, but I'll also take a chemist.
What if you have 2? You want 2 then?
Yeah, sure. We'll go 2. So let me do this. How about I'm gonna scrap the warrior because I'm having a change of what I really want out of this team.
Okay.
No warrior. So we have engineer.
Go deeper. Any subspecialties with the engineer?
Any engineer I can get at this point. No, I don't want to be picky on the engineer or whatever I can get. Someone who can build stuff, someone who understands how to build things. Someone
you
who
say
knows
so
how
maybe
to,
even a type 3, like they were a mechanic in the past life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like example 3.
I just want someone who's...
In a past life, he just knew what he did. Dollars and donuts, you can count on him. Okay.
Right, so, and then I want engineer, doctor, I want a botanist, or a farmer, someone who can cultivate.
Those 3.
And then I want a scout.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, a scout, not necessarily a warrior. Someone who can track, someone who knows how to find things, someone who can go out and be on his own.
Who would meet
Well, if he needs to be, because he's interacting, if he's not, I need him to be covert so he can't ever be seen. Depends on the person, right?
Depends on the nature of the mission.
Exactly right. So, and to finish things off, I would want, what am I missing here? Oh, a chemist or a scientist. Yeah.
Right.
That's my 5th.
Right. And the scientist, honestly, as a chemist and a scientist, I could make medicines, which would dovetail a little bit into to the medical doctor thing.
Sure.
That's why it's like I say the double up thing, but really what I'm talking about is just the people that fit well with the other people.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sure. That's important too. You got to have right because if you have conflict inside your small little bubble.
That's right.
It's easy for a kink in the armor to destroy the wall to bring everything in, or if you're inside a place where the door's open, there's so many different things at stake here. That's why we're so excited. It's such an exciting...
It is. But the thing I notice so much with human nature and element in groups is that if you have a buddy that you can pair off with, and I think that's why we use the buddy system a lot in humans with groups and pairs. Can everyone pair off? Like it just things just go better.
Right.
So I started thinking, but that's why I was like, I want a double of everything. I want 2 warriors to watch each other's back when they go. You want a scout and another scout. And then if they have to meet people, well, he's a talking scout.
Yeah, but
I mean, I thought about this
But when you're doing doubles, now you're getting a little greedy.
okay.
You know, you can only choose one.
But no one can feel like they're ever really ganged up on because they have their buddy or something.
Right.
And then, but then how do teams really start forming? Is it when you add a third? Because then I thought a third, well, then now they can fight amongst each other because it can always be a 2-on-1.
Sure.
So then you start thinking about dynamics of power, and that's when it's just like, boom, floodgates. And I was like, this is an hour-long podcast. We're not going to go crazy, but the human element, folks, here we are. We're staying in the boat here.
The human element.
Human element. So that's who and why, and what functions would they serve? Did we go to that? You obviously know your doctor would heal people.
Well, yeah. I mean, it depends. What they're able to do. Like, you might have someone who's a veterinarian who's now going to be taking care of humans.
Right.
Or you might have someone who just knows who has biology. As a college degree,
Sure, right.
or had a couple classes in college.
But it's enough to work with.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So
That's more of a type 2.
You take what you can get.
Yeah.
You take what you can get. Of course, you want the doctor coming from the hospital that can perform surgery on somebody if they need to.
Yeah.
But you get what you can get.
Exactly. Yeah. And the thing that kept happening, and it's almost like a meme in Walking Dead. It's like, fine doctor, come to find out, actually only a veterinarian. Good enough. Come on in.
Right,
and then,
exactly.
It's like there's like 3 characters that were like that. It's like no one was a doctor, maybe that's true. They all got snatched up at the beginning. Like I said, they didn't hide their identity. They didn't hide their knowledge.
Right.
And the looters got them first.
Okay, so you talked about knowledge in the last podcast. In the last episode. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that for a second because you're talking about things that you need, people you need. You also talk about like a librarian or someone who's a scholar. You need a scholar, right? You need somebody who can transpose the information that they remember or they can find and put stuff together, especially depending how far away it is in the future, and how far you can go back before you can start finding documents. And
True, that's a very good point. And I had my headphones on. I had an idea for the scout, and the scout could also be a librarian because. Yes, you're scouting, but for the most part, aren't you also scavenging? Right. And that's another reason to have a second person. So,
or a scout is a scavenger.
Someone could drive the car while the other person goes and loots and then throws it in the car. So the buddy system, I don't need to hammer that, but the scout is necessary.
I like the buddy system though. It's a very important.
It's very important. I mean, don't you watch the movies? I'll go off alone.
Right. What happens?
Not a good idea.
Right.
So the point is, if you have that information, and a lot of times leverage is important, especially when factions start.
Sure.
And I hate to just go back to make it into a damn drama like the movies.
But
do.
that's what it's.
It is drama. You have leverage and dirt on someone. So if you have a shotgun microphone and you can do recon and hear other people's, we're gonna attack them tomorrow at night.
Right.
I mean, we're talking strategy from the beginning of time. Humanity has protected itself with surveillance and all these kind of things for wars being waged. So that kind of thing will happen. So just having the here and now, like I said in the last episode, if everyone thinks about I need ammo, I need weapons, I need healing, good, off to the races, boom.
Right.
Well, you didn't think about librarians. You didn't think about technology transfer. You didn't think about teachers. Does anyone even know how to teach? Or you didn't even say daycare provider. Does anyone even know how to birth a baby or even take care of kids?
Right.
I know a guy who probably birthed 100 babies. He's not. Is he a good dad? I don't know.
Right.
Does just because you birth babies doesn't make you a good dad.
Right.
Just because you have a library card.
It doesn't make you Yoda.
It doesn't make you Yoda. Thank you. So you would have to have a scholar. I like the way you put that too. A scholar, someone who's knowledgeable or is committed to being the learner, because that warrior is going to actually have to sharpen his or her skills to kill.
Right.
So I would just want, I'm the scribe, and he sits back with his candy bar. No, I'm just taking notes. There's no notes here. It's like, no, we're talking active scout, active scribe.
Right.
A worthwhile team member.
Right.
Who's, active duty. People didn't think about that. Scouting and tracking.
Right. Well, the scout has to communicate with the scholar. Like, what are you looking for out there? What can I help you find? Because I'm out there, I'm going to be looting everything I can find, and if I can find something of value to you, let me know.
And if
now, what if there's conflict between those two?
Oh yeah, exactly.
Now you're not going to get the information you have.
Oh, you're setting it up for the leader.
The leader.
You need a leader in the group.
Got to have a leader. Yeah, I didn't have a leader in my 5 because I figure one of those people will be, will
rise up.
One of those people will be very powerful because of their abilities of helping the group survive.
The doctor, maybe.
And one of those hopefully will have the ability to lead.
The warrior's got the guns. He can just kill you. So isn't it traditionally the human nature, like the biggest gorilla in chimpanzees is the alpha?
Right.
He's the one that can actually choke you to death.
But he might not want anything to do with the leadership role.
That happens.
Right? So it might be the farmer might have the calmness to cultivate the earth as well as dealing with people and in the situations,
cultivate the emotions,
right?
And grow the good crops, baby. Yeah, you are a writer. Yeah, it's like right there. He's like, hold on a second. I'm gonna go write something down.
I do like that idea a lot. I do like that. That's good. Okay. All right. So okay.
Yeah, that's why you would have to have information.
Right. You have to
language.
Keep going to get it.
How do people read and write? How are you going to teach that to a kid?
Right.
You know.
Okay. Now, what if they're not teaching that to the kids? Right. What if there's kids that are growing up without any form of how the world was, whether it's speaking or how you act, or the general talking, right?
Dude,
instead of grunting.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. If the kid doesn't know any better, if he's just raised by wolves,
right?
That is a thing in literature, you know.
Well, so the Road Warrior, the Pharaoh kid.
There you go. Okay. Or I was going to say Mowgli in Jungle Book, you know, raised by wolves. He just never knew what to do, so he just so he always did, you know.
Exactly. So that's really important.
He grunts and grunts. He thinks he's an animal because that's
that's what he knows.
And you know how quickly that could happen, Jay, in only 1 or 2 generations, and that's why I'm saying it's actually a pertinent thing to have.
Right.
You know, healers and mental and the human mind and the humanity, for crying out loud, not just survival, not the animal aspect of humanity.
Right.
We're all animals. That's why veterinarian transfers. We can keep the animals alive.
Right.
But that's all we'll become as animals.
Okay. Now I ask you
all we nurture is the wolf animal.
Right.
2 wolves. Which one lives? Well, the one you feed the most, idiot.
That's
right.
Yeah. That's
so quit feeding the nurture. You know, I'm saying if we don't feed that wolf, we're going to be stupid, and we're going to be alone, and we're not going to be able to work together. And is that a world even worth fighting for?
Okay. Now, does that mean you need to have a spiritual person?
You know, that's very important to a lot of people. And we don't need to share our own personal things, but in other cultures, it's even more dominated. You know, in the Eastern religions or even the Western. I mean, even the Christianity in America is pretty intertwined. But I think you do. But at some point, faith is important, isn't it?
It almost always happens because of the way the preachers and
leaders,
the people who. The people who are on TV all the time.
Oh, evangelists,
how they speak and how they get people behind them. That is a very strong asset for trying to build a group. But I believe sends you down the wrong patches at that point. It becomes about fear to keep you. Then you see all the. That's where I fear about the fear of doing anything anymore.
Your motivation is fear.
Right now.
There's already enough fear and death going on.
If they're used to help keep people together and keep them uplifted and keep them to believe in something, then yes. But if it becomes about controlling,
that's where I have a problem. As it probably will, because when you start wielding that, see, and this is what we're talking about. Maybe the last topic, but rolling into this one is, what do you do with all that power? Does it change you?
Right.
Now that you're sitting on a lake and you're the only guy that controls this lake.
Right.
Do you turn into a king? Because you pretty much are. You're holding a lot of fresh water. You are a king now. Where before you're just a guy that lived on a lake.
Right.
You know, what if you happen to live in that one that wasn't contaminated? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know the guy who turned into a dickhead? You know?
So he turned into a Negan.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Right. Okay. Now.
Say what you will.
Are you going to be a Rick or a Negan?
Yeah, Rick or Negan. I was thinking more like my Walking Dead was the Fear of the Walking Dead. There's the one in Mexico.
Yeah.
He's on that dam. Like whoever controlled the dam had the water.
Okay.
That was what I was initially thinking. But,
okay.
And we all know how that went, which is it didn't go well. The guy just wanted more power. He was he'd punish people by not giving them water, and people would die. And he's like, ha ha. So you have power right there.
Yeah.
You know.
Right. Exactly. And power corrupts. And absolute power corrupts.
Absolutely.
Right. It corrupts absolutely. Exactly. So, but you're right. So you changed, and that's what I said at the start of the first podcast. The first episode was one thing that really inspires me about this genre is the change of character.
Yeah.
And are you going to be able to make those tough choices? We've said this throughout these 2 episodes. They've made that comment. Can you make those tough choices?
Right.
And that's what fascinates me. Are you going to be able to become the person? Are you going to be able to adapt to be able to kill somebody if you have to save your family, save yourself?
Absolutely. That's a tough one.
Are you going to be able to pull somebody out of their car and steal their car?
Can you think that fast?
Right.
And and some of these things we don't even know because even with practice, I had to say you could probably practice a lot of those crazy things in this world, but you can't really practice a lot of those crazy 5-second decisions. And for all the training you can get in simulators, it's just like
the training helps with the impulsive action. So you don't
or staying calm under pressure.
Exactly.
But like an EMT person, actually, in fact, maybe that's not a doctor, someone who's good under pressure. I mean, there's so many skills out there, and I hope everyone out there has enjoyed that section. You know what I mean?
Right.
And because I certainly have enjoyed researching this. I
know you have.
What skills can transfer? And yes, you're still useful. And is that truly a wasted person? So,
but it's not, because like you said, we talked earlier, is you can do something. You just got to be creative with how that can
That's right.
be reabsorbed
Absolutely.
into repurposed.
Right.
You're
Repurposed.
repurposing, you're recycling,
Yeah.
and repurposing your own
Yeah.
like skill sets.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you're an air traffic controller, now you know the lay of the land, or you know how to communicate with people. You know about radios, perhaps.
You know how to and communicator. He can be your communication specialist.
So there's so
Exactly.
many
There it is.
things, but you have to be open to the idea that something that you can do.
Yeah.
The most important part is you have to be willing to help other people
Right.
in order to be in the situation.
You know what's funny? For as much as you say Negan and bad, that was one of Negan's like main doctrines. People are important, you son of a bitch. When he would kill, sorry, not you, but that's what he would say. When someone would kill someone,
you're not talking to me.
When someone would kill someone, he'd be like, "Are you crazy?" He's like, "Yeah, boss, I killed him." Because he's like, "That's not what we stand for," you know. So say what you will, it's a matter of perspective. If
He
you're
did
the
it when he
villain,
punished
because
people.
even Rick was villain sometimes, and that's what I like about this, you know, this ongoing thing. Is you're going to continue to change. Actually, if there's anything I learned from talking to some specialists on this topic and psychiatrists, and people who are in the field, is that you're going to continue to change. Even though you're like, oh, I'll be Negan, you might change and then change back. So it's like, you know, that does happen in reality. Even in not apocalyptic worlds, people change. People, not 100%, but you morph, and now I'm a little more of this, I'm a little more of that.
But I think the thing I take from the Negan aspect is he was just a gym teacher.
Okay.
He was a gym teacher.
Yeah.
And he became Negan.
Yeah.
Right. Rick was a cop, so of course that
was
is
almost like
much
type 3.
more parallel to where he
more parallel,
right.
Exactly.
But
it's a good transfer.
But when it comes to Negan, I like that Mad Max. You know, he was a cop. Right, so his transformation isn't as dramatic as someone like Negan, who comes from such a different.
That's true, yeah.
You know, that's what I really like about that. You know, it's awesome. And then you talked about the feral kid a moment ago, but you talk about Judith, who was born into this world.
True, and from what I see, she's around other people talking. Her family, her dad's there, so I think she won't grow up like a feral kid. Luckily.
No, but
it could be different.
Up in a different way.
It could be very different. She could have been left behind by some very different people.
She could be not growing up with the knowledge of what she's growing up without the knowledge of what life was like just before she was born.
Oh, that's what you meant to say. Yes, so they call it a pre-war kid or a post-war kid. Exactly. Like so. With that said, though, actually,
are we on to our?
No, well, I wanted to bring it up.
Okay.
Just the video game aspect.
Oh yes.
And the movie aspect.
Yep. Okay.
Because that's kind of where we keep talking. I think we're just now all we're doing is talking about Walking Dead. So we pretty much went into that. Not really at all, but this is went into basically what are our favorite movies, our favorite video games, why. And do they help us, hinder us?
Right.
They certainly get us thinking. Like Judith Bourne, she's only going to know what it's like in this crazy world, you know. So it gets you thinking already, and they're great starting points. And without those movies and TV shows, we would really have no clue. We can only speculate, you know. And with that said, dystopian books like Ray Bradbury and Isaac Asimov, there's a lot of authors that have wrote a lot of sci-fi and a post-apocalyptic, whatever you call it, doomsday, dystopian future, whatever you call it. This has been cannon fodder for our sci-fi imagination and human entertainment for maybe almost 100 years at this point.
Right, it is.
Yeah,
it absolutely is. Okay, so with that being said, video games, they taught us a lot about what might happen.
True.
Right? They taught us
on zombie outbreak. Oh.
Right. Okay, but we taught us on how we maybe could survive. Maybe right.
Sure.
They taught us how to move without in environments that we're not familiar with.
Right, how to move. That's right. Resources to pick up, consumables.
Right.
How many bullets you have.
Right. Okay. Before that, would you have thought of going through a house and looking for particular items?
I wouldn't.
Right.
The first time I played Resident Evil, I'd walk past a little little side table, and I'd pull it open, expecting to see a little ammo box in there. No one keeps red ammo boxes, So it does make you size up real world things. No, it does. It does because you're in that world for a minute.
Right.
Which is just as good as movies. When I'm in that world, when I first watched 28 Days Later, I'm in this world like, oh my gosh,
Right. That opening was awesome too.
Yeah.
Right.
Again, just so. I think yes that they help us because without those, how would we even have a clue of what it would look like?
Sure.
So maybe they help us.
I think they help us in that regard. They've helped prepare us to a certain degree. Movies too, not just video games, and movies too. What we might like. If you talk about, I don't want to say movies I'm going to mention in a little bit, but I'll keep those off the table. But there's plenty of movies where you want to see. I don't know, man. It's just I don't know where I was going with that.
Okay.
What are we talking about here?
You want them to help you get through a zombie outbreak, or they teach you? Does a movie or video game help you?
Oh, that's right.
Teach
Yeah,
you?
sorry, man. I lost my train of
you're
thought.
good,
Yeah,
you're good.
yeah. The way the movies, they taught us how to prepare. They've taught us how
exactly.
to.
Or I mean,
like
somewhat.
said, to a certain degree.
Yeah, I mean, how the hell are you gonna do with the Terminator? It's like, well, this is the way it went down in Terminator.
Right.
When they see a robot, I'm like, probably got to crush it in a press.
Right.
That's what I would do.
Run.
Run, yeah.
Run.
Yeah, you just run.
Don't use your phone. Don't get tracked. There's all those things you learn from these movies, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but so they've helped us to a certain extent, but I think they've also hindered us.
You know what? I would agree with that.
Okay.
Because my first thought was they help us also because I'm a huge fan of movies and video games, and I don't want to demonize what I love.
Sure,
but,
sure.
On a podcast, and what we do here is we discuss kind of both sides, try to.
Yeah.
Devil's advocate. So leading up to this, we prepared a little bit with these notes, I'd say.
Uh-huh.
But I kind of started flip-flopping. I was like, well, actually, they kind of hurt us.
Right.
Video games especially.
Okay, so how have they hurt us?
Well, video games, the first thing that comes to mind is like, dude, you get infinite lives in video games. You get infinite tries. That is complete opposite of reality, man.
The fear factor is gone. Is now.
I mean, but right. Actually, what we do is, if you watch one of our first podcasts we did together about video games, not the most recent one, but the run back, you can maybe post that right there. And what we talk about there is the immersion, and we're trying to add effects to make us feel like it's more reality.
Right.
Because the reality is it's just a video game. You can shut it off, turn it on, die as many times as you want, start over, chop it up, teach your friend, he can do it, probably have the same experience you would have had. That's not life. That's not life at all. So in that way, it hurts us. Respawning.
The fact that you're always constantly coming back.
Right. And not only that, but item management. I think the thing we talk about, how many bottles of water do you have? How many, that stuff respawns also, and then it's expendable. Or you could just always go to a vendor, and the vendor always has it in stock.
Or your health just increases out of time. Right?
Yeah,
which I really appreciate in a video game, because I'm like, oh, great.
Yeah.
I don't have to go find something to eat, so I can increase my health, but at the same time, they don't teach us.
Was that Tekken?
Right.
You'd be fighting, and there'd be like a whole roasted chicken, and you eat it, it'd be like chicken. Like, oh yeah, eat a whole roasted chicken. It makes your health come back in about a minute. Yeah. Or about 30 seconds.
That's awesome.
Or no, 3 seconds, yeah.
I think there's a lot of ways it does hurt in that regard. So respawning in that way,
items,
the fact that you have multiple lives, and it loses that sense of danger. Yeah. Where you might be like, oh, I can do that, and then you're dead. Oh, whoops.
That didn't work out. Let me try again.
Exactly.
There's no try again.
Exactly. But I think when I look at it, though, when I'm thinking about it now that we're talking about this finally, I'm going to go with, I think it's helping us more.
Right.
Because I think it's going to prepare more people with how to deal with the situation in some way, some kind of mental recognition of how to do it.
Example. Just can you make up an example?
So, I can't at this moment. Thank you for doing that to me.
Sorry.
For instance, let's say you're a kid, right? I don't know what age, you're a teenager, millennial, whatever. You're playing video games. You're playing video games, and you're into this game because you know how to survive in the post-apocalyptic wasteland. But you said it yourself. Now, when I go to a house, I'm looking through different things, looking for particular items that I might be able to use later.
True.
Right? So that's help. That's
now
help.
A desk fan is actually important because it has screws in it, and the motor or whatever you repurposed it for.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. No, and I size up real life items now.
Right. So you open up a medicine cabinet.
Yeah.
Okay. What can I use here? Rubbing alcohol. Perfect.
Probably, and some gauze maybe because that stops the blood.
Exactly. Yeah. So you're looking for certain things. So I think that's helped a great deal.
And, there's been the survival horror genre and just the survival genre. Metal Gear, our beloved franchise. There was the one where you had to bind his wounds, and it kind of helped you. And there are soldiers that do that in the field. You kind of have to field dress your wounds. So they're trying to do that a little bit. But I mean, does that mean I can field dress a wound? No,
it doesn't. But what I also like about that is the item management.
Oh, to know, yes, that's what you're getting at.
What you should discard.
The rubbing alcohol. That's right.
Exactly. I can't carry everything. Right. At some point, I have to discard something. What's rubbing alcohol worth more than here?
Okay, and then yes,
what can
item
I ditch?
management absolutely is very important.
Because you're thinking about those things.
You can't carry infinite stuff.
No.
It slows you down. Yeah, they have that weight limit in the Fallout games.
Right.
Like, you're carrying too much stuff.
What if you have no backpack?
Yeah,
and you're just
you're just carrying a machine gun and a pack of ammo and grenades.
Or even just that. Food and a flashlight and a lantern and a blanket.
Water, by the way, which I need my beverage pretty soon. But water or beer is 8 pounds per gallon.
Okay. All right.
No, when I do a workout, I don't know, sometimes it's a 15, 20, 25, I don't know, but it's not, I'm not some big strong guy, but 8 pounds, dude. 1 gallon.
It's a lot.
Pretty heavy.
Yeah, you're gonna carry that for a long time.
Now, how much am I going to drink? I drink a half a gallon a day, maybe.
Right.
Maybe a full gallon if it's really hot out. Plus, that's the other thing, and I think we've talked about this. When you're trying to work to get out of there, the apocalypse, you need water. When you're trying to go through uninhabitable areas like a desert or like, extreme snow even, like you need to burn more calories to stay warm. Like you got to bring sticks of butter to eat. Yeah. Literally, why am I eating butter? Because it has the most calories.
But it's going to melt. So you're out in the desert. You can't carry butter out
Oh,
in the
no,
desert.
I was going to say water in the desert, but butter in the cold. In the cold. Sorry, but also, exactly. You see what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
So you can't carry everything.
Right.
How do I know it's important to me?
Yeah, but that's...
The games get your wheels working.
Right,
okay.
right.
Agreed. I think it helps more than hinders us. Absolutely. Once you get past that reality of, well, here's something I used to do with games, and if you guys should try this out there, I do something called permadeath. Permadeath runs.
Permadeath. Okay, yes, I like that. Yeah.
I build the character, and I play the game, and if it dies, I delete it, shut it off.
I like that.
Which is also relieving because I'm never looking for save stations. I'm never looking how to save it. I don't remember to save it. There is no saving it. It was liberating when I played it, and I recommend it to anyone.
Interesting. So, I like that.
With that said, do we want to move on to our last section?
I think we're going to move on to the
high five, top five.
That's right.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
So this is what we've been waiting to do. This is ultimately what we've been wanting to do at the start of this podcast.
Mine's changed in just a day, I think, but...
Yeah, well, mine did too. Because as we started talking over the last day or so here about it, things start to change a little bit, right?
Top five.
Okay, so I'm going to let you go first. We're going to do movies,
I go first? My house.
And then we're going to go video games.
It's my bunker, excuse me. This is our shelter bunker. You traded me for a carrot and some paper.
So now you're first.
Keep this dry.
Yeah, but I got this later.
You do. It's worth 100 carrots in town, I heard. All right, so we're doing 2 top 5 lists, and the first list is that I'm going to share my top 5 movies.
Got it.
Okay, because I'm also doing a video game list, and please, as you know, share both of yours.
Yep. Do it.
So the top 5 movies, and these are in no particular order because I didn't have time to do that.
Okay.
So in no particular order, the first one, 28 Days Later.
Nice.
Love it.
Okay.
Fantastic movie.
Nice. I like it.
The sequel is okay, but still...
The sequel's opening.
The sequel opening is
amazing.
Frightening.
Terrifying. Just unbelievably frightening.
And about that horde thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, 20 Days Later really, I feel like it led a lot of the groundwork why I instantly latched on to Walking Dead. Of course, I was going to love Walking Dead either way, but it really showed me that you can make a zombie movie and have it be terrifying. And it flipped the script a little bit because I think...
Was the first ones that were fast?
It was kind of the first ones that are fast. It was just terrifying.
Because it was that, and then it was Dawn of the Dead, the remake.
Was that? Yeah,
so
okay.
I think 20 Days Later was the first that were fast.
Maybe, but it terrified me. I watched it with my brother. I know where it was one of those movies that I know who I was with,
one
where
thing
I was,
that zombies are coming after you. One thing that zombies are running after you. That's another whole thing.
That was frightening. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So 2, Walking Dead. Oh, by the way, movies is also TV shows.
Okay.
So with that said, Walking Dead. Right now, Walking Dead. For me, it's a gold standard. I called it. I don't know if you declared it that, but that's my opinion.
I read most of the comics, so in that vein it is. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I just think it is. I mean, to me, that's game changing. It's still going on right now. Right. So enough said. I don't really want to explain much. I've gushed about it.
Yeah, we talked about it enough. So number 3.
Number 3 is a different type, and this speaks to the humanity.
Okay.
My favorite post-apocalyptic movie in my top 5 has got to be The Survivalist.
The Survivalist.
Now, this is also in the same vein as Z for Zachariah. Both of those, I feel like they're kind of. I want to discuss them. See, this is my top 5. I'm in a few of my items. I might say 2 or 3. I have
never saw Z for Zachariah, but I did see. I started watching it, and I just didn't get into it. So I need to watch it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Z for Zachariah. Well, here's the thing. Z for Zachariah is basically like a love triangle. They say it's like a love triangle post-apocalyptic. So it just shows what humans would do to each other if there's only 3 of them. Right. And for some reason there was some romance and some awkwardness and some whatever. It's just written really well. There is a survival element in it. Okay. Survivalist has that also. A little bit. It's mainly just 3 people kind of trying to survive. This one guy is trying to survive, and then these 2 survivors come up, and then it ends, and it has a bleak ending too. So that's what I like about it. It's just really good. It's just really good, and it was definitely a game changer. Actually, I watched that in the last year. I forgot what year that came out, but all right. So number 4. This is the funny land. I have to have a funny movie because the funny ones also help me prepare. Because damn it, there's some good stuff in there.
There is.
Even though it's like Zombieland. There's some great tips in there.
But it's not Zombieland though, is it?
It's not Zombieland, but Zombieland's in there.
I know what it is.
It's not Shaun of the Dead, but even though that's a great one.
Oh, it's not Shaun of the Dead.
It's not Shaun of the Dead, and it's not Seeking a Friend for the End of the World, which is maybe I mean, guys, that's a apocalyptic movie. Asteroid's going to hit. It's the asteroid example, guys. That was in a realistic section.
I am very confused. What movie is number 4?
This is the end.
Oh!
This is the end. It's hilarious.
I did not
It's
put
very
that
guy
in.
humor. If anyone knows me, I like the Judd Apatow thing, the Seth Rogen and the James Franco. I know it's a little douchey, but it's still just really brilliantly funny. I mean, I just think that they're just great. It's modern, and it's like a apocalyptic movie, dude. Like, what happens in Hell on Earth? I mean, I'm saying an actual God
It's
event.
not a post-apocalyptic. It's apocalyptic
It's
movie.
like, oh, God is real. This is the end.
It's
the end
happening
coming
right now.
So
Okay.
watch that. For me, that does it. So
Number 5.
Number 5. The last one is a throwback. I had to pick from my 80s my 80s fodder. I got Cyborg. I got Jean-Claude Van Damme in Cyborg. I got a Running Man. Dude, everyone knows I love Arnie. Gotta love Running Man. Is that
Running
or is that
Man's
dystopian?
that's more dystopian.
Or is more dystopian?
More dystopian.
Or we don't know. Maybe about after the nuclear war. This is what our society has been. Okay, so that is more dystopian. Okay, and
More
that's
dystopian.
Terminator.
Much like...
I got a Terminator.
Okay.
I got a
extinction-
Terminator.
That's extinction level, yep.
And now we had to go back in time. So my favorite was...
Yeah, well, Terminator's interesting how that would not apply, but it does because it's about the end of the world, but it's before the end of the world.
I mean, we
right.
said this in episode 1.
Right.
It's like, we've done some thinking, folks.
Yeah.
One can lead to the other.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's no
it-
need to
it's- yeah,
overanalyze,
exactly.
but you're right.
Right.
It's that Running Man was written by Stephen King under a different name.
Right.
Like the story was written.
Yeah.
And
I
it was
don't think
supposed to be
that-
a dystopian. It was like a social commentary, as many authors do.
Right.
I'm going to go with Terminator. Sorry, it's in my top
Go
5.
Terminator.
Yeah,
Okay.
Terminator. There
All
it
right,
is.
well, that's a good list.
All right.
That's a good list. You know what? Not one overlap, which is
Really?
which is interesting. Okay,
right,
so
give
my
it to me.
favorite movies are TV shows, but it's all movies.
Okay.
Okay. The Road Warrior. Big
Warrior.
surprise.
Road Warrior.
Right, I mentioned it in my very first intro of this of part 1.
Which isn't Mad Max.
It's the second movie.
Okay, it's called the Road,
Yeah, it's
Road Warrior.
It's Road
Okay.
Warrior. They marketed it as Mad Max 2 at one point, but it's just the Road Warrior.
Cool.
I love the Road Warrior. I've gushed about this movie far and long enough in these podcasts. I absolutely love the cinematography, the look, the feel, the acting, the minimalist nature of dialogue. I love the characters, the action, the colors. I just love that movie. Okay, number 2, The Road.
The Road. I've seen it.
I read the
good.
book, and,
Oh,
and,
okay.
and the book is like right exactly as the movie is.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's
good.
amazing,
really
and
good.
The Road is one of those movies that I don't think I can watch it now that I'm a father.
Yeah, I watched it. I watched it only a year ago.
Okay.
Or two years ago. I think it came out in 2007. It was
Something like that.
Almost 10 years old then.
Yeah.
Okay, but I've only watched it a year or two since I've been a good dad. But
Yeah, I
it was
saw
still
it when it
hard.
came out in the theater, and so I didn't have any children then. So yeah, I was like, that's an amazing movie, but seeing it as a father, that would be a different experience for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I like the survivalist element in that, and that's
Yeah.
a huge thing of why
Right.
I like the genre
Right.
and why I picked some of my picks.
Yeah.
I like
I
that.
mean, it's very much. It's like The
fancied
Last
that.
of Us.
I fancied that one when I thought
Yeah.
of the survivalist, but
course, you
because
have
I watched those actually within a month of each other.
Okay.
And that's how I know I'm able to pick my pick.
Yeah.
But the Road was almost
Road
one pick
is,
for me.
is,
so,
is amazing
yeah,
for me.
All right.
And then I'm going to go with Snowpiercer. That's my most recent one.
That's good. You showed that one to me.
I
Great.
love the
That is-
Snowpiercer. It's
that is
fantastic.
great.
It's a totally different type. It's dystopian, but it's
it was-
because of an end of the world extinction level event. It was the world froze.
Yeah, the world froze.
The world froze.
Yeah, and that happened quickly. I
right.
mean, yeah, there was a slow burn, and then now it's actually dystopian society.
Exactly.
That caused from the
Right.
okay.
Exactly.
That-
So it fits much like
I'll
that.
allow
yeah.
judges. Okay,
Right.
judges allow it.
Right.
Anyway, whatever.
Because if you're going in some of the territories you are, I absolutely can make that break.
I still want. Yeah,
Right.
it's okay. Yeah.
Okay. My next
Road Warrior.
one is 12 Monkeys.
Great pick. I thought of that one, but okay.
It's also dystopian,
yeah.
but it's also end of the world.
right.
It was an epidemic. It was a pandemic,
pandemic. It was.
and it
I watched a TV show for a little while. In addition, you're
Oh,
talking.
I'm
you're
talking
talking
movie. I'm
oh,
talking
I know
Terry
you
Gilliam.
are.
I'm
I
talking
know
Terry
you. I know
Gilliam.
who you are. Yeah.
Right. That's the one for me.
Yeah, well, I'm not confusing
That's
that.
the one for me. Now the last one I have is just a cult favorite of mine. It's my fun pick of the bunch.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
We have 3 is Snowpiercer.
1, 2, 3,
3 is Snowpiercer. 4 is
4.
12 Monkeys.
4 is 12 Monkeys.
Give me your last one.
My last one is my fun one. This is the one I don't take too seriously, but I still love it because it's Mad Max in the water. It's Waterworld.
Waterworld.
I love
right.
Waterworld.
Not mad
Just
at
because
you.
it's a guilty pleasure.
You know what? They spent a lot of money making that movie.
Yeah. They lost a lot of money making that movie,
Yeah.
but I just enjoy the hell out of that
That's
movie.
realistic. That's realistic with everything melting.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
realistic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Let's wrap it up.
Let's
here.
wrap it up with video games.
Let's wrap it up with video games. Okay. Well, high five, top five.
High five, top five.
You're getting a 2 for 2.
Let's do them.
You're getting a 2 for 2. So you got 2 5 lists. Here is my top 5 video games. Resident Evil 2.
All right.
If anyone knows me,
Okay.
it was one of my top games in our games podcast that I already plugged shamelessly. So we'll just leave it at that. You can actually watch the other episode if you want me to gush even more about it. But there is a remake coming up that I haven't played yet. So I don't know if that'll make its way in.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 2, Gears of War.
Nice.
Gears of War. And I'm kind of going franchises here, but I want to be specific. Resident Evil 2. Because I didn't like how 5, there was like zombies on motorcycles,
Sure.
like a few of the iterations. So I don't want to say the whole franchise.
Okay.
So that's why I'm being specific with these.
All right.
Okay, so Resident Evil 2, Gears of War 4.
Gears of War
Gears
4.
of War 4.
Oh my God.
Amazing plot. Amazing plot. Amazing plot.
Two Gears of War in the same list. Okay. Oh, no. That's the same. Oh, you're just grouping those together? Or are those two separates?
Resident Evil 2 is the first one.
Okay.
The second one is Gears of War 4.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Got
Gears
it.
of War 4 was on the Xbox One.
Okay.
Gears of War 4 is my 2. That's why I keep pulling up these.
All right, now number 3.
Gears of War. I'm going back to Gears of War. I talked about it earlier, but that's when the bugs came out of the ground, dude.
Right.
A great concept, by the way.
Yeah.
Apocalyptic event. Just a very good game to play.
Okay.
And that could even be a movie, to be honest with you. I mean, we already know the Resident Evil franchise is a movie, but all right, next one, fine. Fallout 4. Fallout 4 is my third favorite one.
Okay.
That actually starts off, you actually get to see bombs dropping, and then you go into the vault,
Right.
and then you emerge later, 200 years later, because you were cryogenically frozen.
Okay.
So that sets up a good, cool story.
Right,
And it is a good story. It has factions in it and a lot of good things. The mods are where I really love that, because that was a game that you could modify to be your post-apocalyptic world, folks.
Oh, I like that.
Are you kidding me? So what you're saying, Rob Free, is that there's some kind of like zombie simulator? Yeah, I can set it up and have it spawn only zombies in the world. No super mutants, no raiders.
Oh, okay.
You turn it into a zombie game. Or I can turn it into just a super mutant game. All aliens invade. I can make it so there's no one else on the planet except me. I'm the only human left in the whole world of the video game. So mods help you, and that's another reason why I made my list. Okay.
All right, now
This is one you may have, which is number 4, which is The Last of Us.
Yep.
Because it is so fantastic.
Okay.
I heard a rumor that the second one drops in October
Oh.
this year. I speculated that it was going to drop this year. I told you. I was like, it's probably coming out for Christmas this year. But so the second one will probably usurp the first one in this list. But that first one is so dang good.
Right.
Last one, BioShock Infinite. Now, actually, I'm going to cross that off because that was more of a dystopian one. When I really thought about that one, I thought if we ever do a dystopian podcast or what's your favorite dystopian games, the BioShock might be there.
Okay.
The BioShock franchise. But what I'm going to go with is Left 4 Dead.
Okay, I like that.
Left 4
That's a fun
Dead
one.
and Left 4 Dead 2, most importantly, because these are sprinting zombies.
Right.
There was hordes to deal with.
Right.
And it was all set in almost kind of real-world-ish locations that were kind of fun-ish.
Yeah, like
and there
the
was
mall
a
and
teamwork
shit like that.
element. There was and it always was more exciting when you could play with team.
Yeah.
Trade rations, help your buddy out. So it had that teamwork element, but it was still a shooter, almost like a Black Ops thing.
Gotcha.
So yeah, Left 4 Dead 2 is my fifth favorite. So.
All right. Good list.
Yours.
All right, my turn. Last of Us, of course.
Last of Us.
Okay,
All
it's on the list.
For sure, we knew that.
Love the movie, love the environments, love the setting, love the ambiance, love the music, the noise, everything about it is just
really
perfect
good.
for me.
Music too, yeah.
Resident Evil. For me,
Which one?
Resident Evil 1 because of what it did for me.
Again, that was on our list for the previous podcast.
Yeah, it has to be there.
Okay.
Fallout 3.
Fallout 3 again, another one. Okay,
Right.
okay.
So I got my zombie. I got my end of the world. I got my post-apocalyptic
So that's
there. Walking Dead Telltale series.
Oh, I've never went through those.
Really cool.
I've heard they're really cool.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay.
Slow pace, but interesting that you.
Is there a favorite one? I mean, is it they were on PS3? Did you play
I
on
only
PS3?
played the one. PS4.
On PS4, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, recently.
Yeah, I should have brought it with me. I'm not sure why I didn't.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, if you have it, you
brought
grab that
me.
copy. All right. Looks like I get to play one of his
now
favorites.
there's one that I want to mention. I mentioned 4. I mentioned 4 right there.
That's 4. Yeah. Give me your last one. Yeah.
I'm going to trade that video game to a movie pick. and have a 6 movie and 4 video games.
Oh, I think the
Okay.
judges will allow that.
They allow that?
Because I'm
shaking things up
definitely a more avid gamer, and
Okay.
you're a definitely more avid movie.
Right.
So I will allow that.
Okay. So it's from Netflix. It's a Korean, like a Korean post-apocalyptic zombie storyline, and it's called Kingdom.
I haven't. Okay.
And it is awesome.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to watch season 2.
Yeah.
It's a different take on it.
Different take. Yeah, what a way to flip the script.
Yeah.
It's a different take.
It's
I
a
haven't
different
watched
take.
it yet. But
It's super interesting, and it's told in like one of my favorite periods is feudal Japan, but it's like it's Korea instead.
right. Of course.
So
feudal Korea, whatever.
however you whatever
Ancient,
same time frame is where there's like samurai-esque things going on, but then
and machine guns.
Right.
Zombies, but no guns.
Swords.
That's
man.
weird.
It's
Yeah,
really cool.
I gotta watch it.
It's really,
you
really
turned me on to
awesome.
one episode, and I'm gonna get through it eventually. but
Right.
So much to watch these days.
There is so much to watch. Now,
Good,
there's
good pick. Good little sneak in there.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that, like
But
that.
there's a lot of other things that I would have loved to mention. There's a lot of great movies in the post-apocalyptic setting.
Sure,
There's
sure.
a lot of different types of them. Between I Am Legend and the Omega Man, which are the
Right,
same stories.
which same stories.
Or Postman.
Book of Eli.
The Day After Tomorrow.
Steel Dawn.
Right.
I dropped
Steel
in
Dawn.
Swayze.
Outbreak we mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Dawn of the Dead. You said Book of Eli. Children of Men. World War Z.
Right. Even Matrix.
Reign of Fire.
Even Matrix.
Right. Matrix. Absolutely.
You would think.
It's a dystopian, but because of an alien or robotic
right.
interface taking
Right.
over.
At some point there was. Yeah. That was
Right.
made my list. But
Right.
yeah. District 9, I think.
Nice. That kind of applies.
Hey, aliens show up all of a sudden. No, it doesn't really affect much. It's just this little society.
Yeah, I'll let it pass. I mean, it's on the
But
podcast.
no, but that still is world changing
Right.
as far as South Africa goes.
Right.
It changed their whole world. There's not aliens.
I got one here that is very post-apocalyptic, but you don't think about it. Battlestar Galactica.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You would think that's sci-fi.
The
yeah.
robots
which is
destroyed
kinda,
Earth,
Okay.
and the survivors on this ship.
I got one
Escape.
for you.
Yeah.
I got one for you. If you're gonna flip the script, I'm flipping your flip on a flip, a double flip.
Okay.
Transformers is a post-apocalyptic movie. From the viewpoint of Cybertron,
You're
which
right.
exploded. Their world exploded. They had to go somewhere.
That's awesome, Rob.
We're humans, not robots.
That
but
is awesome.
Flip the flip, double
I
flip.
like
On
that.
the double flip, high five.
I got a TV show.
Yeah.
I got a cartoon.
What? Oh.
Thundar the Barbarian.
Ooh, I thought you were gonna say Cowboy Bebop. All right.
Thundar the Barbarian.
All right. Hey, folks.
Hey,
Yeah.
thanks for listening to the Jay Craig Podcast. This has been a fun time talking
Obviously.
about the apocalypse. Check out part 1.
Yep.
Thank you for listening to part 2.
Go ahead
Don't
and
forget to
subscribe.
subscribe. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hit the
Like,
button.
follow.
Boom.